This is NDTV, and you're watching Classics.
My guest today is so special, I could even say that the fact that you're watching this 24-hour news channel is an idea stolen from him, like any other news channel. In fact, it was his idea of 24-hour live television news that revolutionized the way the media covers news. It changed newspapers, magazines. You could run out of adjectives for Ted Turner, but you could never run out of verbs. He's that kind of a personality. He founded the CNN. He pledged $1 billion to the UN and actually paid off America's debt. He's a champion sailor, philanthropist. You are a doing person. Ted Turner, welcome to Walk the Talk. It's a very special privilege to have you here.
Nice to be here.
And I apologize for that long introduction, but I could not have thought of a shorter one. You've done so much in your life, and you're doing so much still.
Well, thank you. Just doing the best I can.
And a lot of things at the same time.
Well, not too many.
There is
One thing at a time.
Yes, but there is a restlessness about you.
Well, yeah, when are we going to start walking? Speaking of restless, are we going to walk?
Sure.
Well, let's do it.
Because not many people, even in 2006, CEOs, big businessmen, even people who are visionaries, they would not leave something that they're so secure with so quickly and move on to something else. You know, it's like giving up your own safety net.
Well, that's true. That's true. But I didn't really plan to give up CNN. That wasn't in my plan.
Right. Well, that's not what I'm referring to. You've done many things.
Oh, yeah.
You are quite happy to do something entirely different and leave your safety net.
Well, that's true. That's true.
And where does that come from?
I don't know, sense of adventure. You only live once. You have to, you know, you might live more than once, but we don't know that. So you have to put as much into the one life that you have as you can. The more you put into life, the more you get out of it.
Because the context that brings you here, your association with the UN, that itself to my mind is a little bit of risk-taking because we see the UN as this fuddy-duddy talk shop, a big bureaucracy where nothing gets done, which is manned by bureaucrats who are overpaid, underworked, and untaxed. And the only privilege is free parking in Manhattan. And you're trying to do something out of that institution.
That's true, but you know, you could say the same thing about most of our federal governments too. But we have to have one, and we might as well, since we have to have a UN, we have to have some kind of way to settle international disputes and deal with refugees and diseases in the oceans and the atmosphere. We have to have it, so we might as well make it work as best we can.
Right, and you have faith in the institution.
Oh, absolutely. I have faith in the institution. I don't think humanity will survive without it.
Well, George Bush won't agree with that, we know.
Well, you know, I don't agree with him about everything.
Or about most things, in fact.
Well,
Or about many things.
A number of them.
But tell us, where does this belief and affection for the UN system come from? You know, you pledged $1 billion. I remember
Right.
Kofi Annan thought it was a prank to begin with.
Well, I've been fascinated and interested in the UN since I was a little boy, and I'm a student of history.
We can see that on your tie even now.
I'm a student of history, and I don't think we'd have made it through the Cold War without the UN. I think we would have had, it was a place, if nothing else, it's a place where you can let off steam and you can say what's on your mind. If you remember the dramatic pictures of Khrushchev, he was so mad at the United States, he took his shoe off and beat the podium with his shoe.
Right.
But he didn't drop the bombs because he hit with his shoe instead of with his nuclear weapons. And it's really important to have an international place where you can talk out your differences and try and work on things of common interest, because the world is too complicated now to get along without a government. Just look at the failed states in the world. There are 25 or so, more or less. Places like Darfur. Nobody wants to live in a failed state because there's no law, no order, there's chaos. And the world is the same thing. If we don't have the UN, we're just going to have international chaos.
And a failed state is a relative expression, because within successful states also there will be failed states. For example, in India, there are many provinces which are like failed states, so people are moving out of there as well.
So you can see it right here. Yeah, well, that's absolutely true. You have to have law enforcement in order to have civilization, and you have to have organization, and you have to have bureaucracy, because the countries are big. There are lots of people in the world, 6 billion, over 1 billion here in India. You know, trying to keep everybody organized is not a small job.
Growing at nearly 2%.
I know, that's scary, because I don't think India won't be nearly as nice if there's another 500 million people here. I mean, it's already pretty crowded.
Right. You know, coming back to your UN venture, the UN Foundation. Let me go back to my saying that the UN is seen as this non-performing, non-functioning organization. Yet you set up this foundation which has people like you know, who are dynamic. And then you
Well,
have
I'm trying to fix it so it will. Let's just fix it.
Yes, and
if
now
there's something wrong with something, you fix it. You just don't throw it away.
Absolutely.
You don't throw everything away. If your car's broken, you fix it. You can't afford just to throw it away.
Not always in America.
Not anywhere. Nobody throws their car away. They fix it.
So you got Narayan Murthy.
We can't throw our UN away.
Right.
We've got to fix it.
So you got Narayan Murthy from India, who's one of our most respected corporate
he just
leaders.
joined us, right.
Yes. You got Mohammad Yunus. You got people from the Court of Justice. You got first-class corporate people,
Right.
people in private lives. And you are building a public-private partnership.
That's right.
That you're talking about here. Now, have you at all followed the debate here? Because in India, we've been talking about this for some time. And this is
Talking about the UN?
public-private partnership.
Oh, okay.
And this excites many passions, because we have the left in our country which dislikes the word private.
Well, I think things are so complicated now with as many people and the poverty and water scarcity and all the other problems that we have in the world, that we need to work together in order for a society to function and be successful. We have to utilize the resources of the public sector and the private sector. We have to work together to make our countries work and our civilization work. Otherwise, I mean, with the nuclear weapons, you know, you could do a lot of damage in an afternoon if you and Pakistan get mad at each other again. Now you can't afford to be angry. Before, you could be angry at them and shoot over the line of control. You could shoot some cannons and hit the mountains and blow up some few rocks, maybe kill a few people. But if you ever have a nuclear exchange, it's going to be a lot of people are going to get hurt. I mean,
Right.
A lot of people are going to get killed. A lot of children, a lot of grandparents, a lot of schools blown up and hospitals. I mean, it'll really be a great tragedy.
So,
I'm trying to get rid of nuclear weapons, you know, but I can't get rid of them. You got to get rid of them. But it's something we need to do because they're dangerous. Bangladesh doesn't have any nuclear weapons. Do you think that they're safer than India and Pakistan? No, because the Pakistani nuclear weapons are aimed at India, and the Indian weapons are aimed at Pakistan. You don't have any aimed at Bangladesh,
well,
do you?
we'll be equally...
Or Sri Lanka. You got any nuclear weapons aimed at Sri Lanka?
No, but...
No!